Moral paralysis is a term that has been used to describe the inaction of France, England, and other European democracies in the 1930s as they watched Hitler build up the military forces that he later used to attack them. It is a term that may be painfully relevant to our own times. Back in the 1930s, the governments of the democratic countries knew what Hitler was doing, and they knew that they had enough military superiority at that point to stop his military buildup in its tracks. But they did nothing to stop him. Instead, they turned to what is still the magic mantra today: negotiations. No leader of a democratic nation was ever more popular than British Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain, wildly cheered in the House of Commons by opposition parties as well as his own, when he returned from negotiations in Munich in 1938, waving an agreement and declaring that it meant peace in our time. We know now how short that time was.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Veramo, and I'm back with another reaction video. Today guys, I'm going to be reacting to some of SowellTV, and we have "As Israel Learned from the Stupidity of the West." Wow, stupidity of the West. Okay guys, this is about to get deep. Before we continue, we have some amazing people watching us for the first time. If you are new to the channel, I'm Vera. I do reaction videos. If it's something that you love, why not join Vera City? Hit the subscribe button below, turn on the post notification bell so that you can always be the first person to know whenever a new video drops. With that being said, let's continue guys.
Less than a year later, World War II began in Europe and spread across the planet, killing tens of millions of people and reducing many cities to rubble in Europe and Asia. Looking back after that war, Winston Churchill said, "There was never a war in all history easier to prevent by timely action. The earlier it was done, the less it would have cost." At one point, Hitler could have been stopped in his tracks without the firing of a single shot, Churchill said. That point came in 1936, 3 years before World War II began, when Hitler sent troops into the Rhineland in violation of 2 international treaties. At that point, France alone was so much more powerful than Germany that the German generals had secret orders to retreat immediately at the first sign of French intervention. As Hitler himself confided, the Germans would have had to retreat with our tail between our legs, because they did not yet have enough military force to put up even a token resistance. Why did the French not act and spare themselves and the world the years of horror that Hitler's aggressions would bring? The French had the means, but not the will. Moral paralysis came from many things: the death of 1 million French soldiers in the First World War, and disillusionment with the peace that followed cast a pall over a whole generation. Pacifism became the vogue among the intelligentsia and spread into educational institutions. As early as 1932, Winston Churchill said, "France, though armed to the teeth, is pacifist to the core." It was morally paralyzed. History may be interesting, but it is the present and the future that pose the crucial question: is America today the France of yesterday? We know that Iran is moving swiftly toward nuclear weapons, while the United Nations is moving slowly, or not at all, toward doing anything to stop them. It is a sign of our irresponsible utopianism that anyone would even expect the UN to do anything that would make any real difference. Not only the history of the UN, but the history of the League of Nations before it demonstrates again and again that going to such places is a way for weak-kneed leaders of democracies to look like they are doing something, when in fact they are doing nothing. The Iranian leaders are not going to stop unless they get stopped, and like Hitler, they don't think we have the guts to stop them. Incidentally, Hitler made some of the best anti-war statements of the 1930s. He knew that this was what the Western democracies wanted to hear, and that it would keep them morally paralyzed while he continued building up his military machine to attack them. Iranian leaders today make only the most token and transparent claims that they are building peaceful nuclear facilities in one of the biggest oil-producing countries in the world, which has no need for nuclear power to generate electricity. Nuclear weapons in the hands of Iran and its international terrorist allies will be a worse threat than Hitler ever was. But before that happens, the big question is, are we France? Are we morally paralyzed, perhaps fatally?
The truth is, you can't negotiate with someone who wants to conquer you. You have to meet force with force. Are we totally paralyzed? I would say yes, we are. And we definitely will pay a huge price if we do not fix it. An evil enemy will burn its own nation to the ground to rule over its ashes. You cannot stop war, but you can win. Thomas Sowell is such a great man. I hope that the whole world honestly gets to hear this. It's just so sad that there are so many selfish, evil people in our world. The fact that this was written years ago and even right now it is so applicable. I hope history doesn't repeat itself. Thomas Sowell is a national treasure. Talking with madmen may be fine, but negotiating with them is crazy. These days we have a lot of audacity but very little courage. It's just too bad that nobody wants to listen to stuff like this. Nobody wants to listen to stuff like this. History does repeat itself unless we do things to prevent it. He who has ears, let him hear. What are your thoughts on this? What do you guys think about this video? Drop a comment down below. If you enjoyed this video as much as I did, give it a huge thumbs up and please share this video. And if you're new to the channel, join Veracity. Hit the subscribe button below, turn on the post notification bell so that you can always be the first person to know whenever a new video drops. And that, guys, I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.